Okay, today we are going to be making a value shading layer cake. I'm going to show you right now how to make your cake. So the first thing you're going to need is a straight edge or a ruler or a folder, something that you can help you draw a straight line with. We are going to make the middle of our cake in the middle of our paper. So I'm just making a vertical line up and down. The next thing we're going to do is add a diagonal line to the top. Try to make the angle very similar. If you want to make it a little longer, you can, but it doesn't really matter. It's like we're making an arrow. After you've gotten your arrow, we're going to do the same thing on the bottom, but we want to try to make sure that it's at the same angle. So I'm going to try my best. If it ends up being a little bit different, that's okay. Try to make it about the same length as well. And I know this part's kind of tricky, but we will line it up with a straight vertical line at the end, so it's not that big of a deal. So that's what we're gonna do next. We're gonna line up, draw this, make sure it's vertical. That's the most important part. You can always extend this like I need to, extend it a little bit, because we want to make sure things are staying vertical up and down. So I'm doing that on both sides. Okay, that's the inside of our cake. And I know it's kind of an optical illusion. It either looks like it's pointing out or pointing in. And we're gonna change that to make it look like it's a cut out, like you cut out a V or a slice of cake. And to do that, we are going to add a C. So I'm gonna turn my paper. I'm gonna start here, and I'm gonna make the letter C connected to those 2 points. And the reason I turned my paper is because I wanted my C to get bigger and I want it to stay squished. It's like we're making a circle, but we did the letter C so that it was a oval instead of a circle. Because when I turn it, now it looks like the top of my cake. And now I'm going to find the edge, and I'm gonna bring that down, not all the way. I'm gonna do the same thing over here. I'm finding that edge and bringing it down. I'm gonna connect this line to here with a little bit of a curve. And now we have our cake. You can decorate your cake however you want. We're gonna make a plate for our cake to sit on, and that's doing the same thing. I'm gonna turn my paper again, and we're gonna do a backwards C. I'm gonna start up a bit, like an inch, so that it looks like it's sitting in the middle of the cake, not on the edge. If I did it right here, it would look like it's on the edge of the cake, and that's not very realistic. So I'm gonna go up, I'm gonna make my backwards C, and I like to just kind of start over here too. Now we have our cake sitting on a plate. If you want to double that up, to have like the rim of the plate, there you go. Now here's where this turns into a value cake. We are gonna make our cake have layers, and to do that, we're gonna add 6 lines down the center. So we're gonna do, well, I'm gonna try to add 6. We'll see how many we can get. So we're gonna follow that same angle that we had. We want 1, 2, 3. Looks like we're gonna do 5. If you can get 6, awesome. If you can get 5, that's fine too. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 layers. And I'm gonna do that same thing on the other side. Now this is important. Your layers need to line up. So find that line and find this angle and do the same diagonal line on the other side of your cake. Okay, now we have our layer cake. You're going to take a pencil, and I'm gonna bring some of these with me. If you don't have a regular lead pencil, we can't use mechanical pencils. And these blend a little bit more than your normal pencil, but if you have a normal pencil, that'll work too. We're going to be doing light to dark or dark to light, whichever you prefer. This should be the lightest shade you can get, with a pencil, and this should be the darkest you can get. So I'm just gonna start, and I like to hold my pencil up. I don't like to hold it like here when I'm shading. I like to move it up a little bit, and I'm holding it sideways. I'm gonna use the side edge of the pencil to get this shade. So I'm just gonna fill the whole thing in, and I want it to be as light as I can. I'm barely touching. And that's one. Now I'm gonna go down, and I'm gonna do the same thing I just did. I'm barely touching, and I'm gonna fill that whole thing in. But I want this one to be lighter than this one, so I'm gonna go over this again and make it a little bit darker. So that's just the second layer. When you get better at this, you can just kind of tell and do it a little darker. So see how these two look different? I'm gonna go down, I'm gonna do my lightest layer. Gonna do my second layer, so now it should look the same as the one next to it. They look the same pretty much. Now I'm gonna do my third layer. Now it looks a little bit darker. Moving on, doing this one, lightest layer. Second layer. Third layer. Now my fourth layer. Now it looks a little bit darker. Last one should be your darkest one. First layer. Second layer. Third. Fourth. And fifth. And I'm pushing harder now because I want to fill in all those little tiny white specks that you get, so it really does look as dark as I can get it. And now you see that all of my layers are gradually getting darker as they go down. You're gonna do the same thing for your other side of the cake. Now you can do this with your pencil too, or you can decorate this with a colored pencil and do the same thing, light to dark or dark to light, whichever you prefer. When you're done, I'm gonna throw in a little bit of a horizon line. I didn't do that earlier. This is gonna make it look like your cake is sitting on a table. Now you're going to go in and color the rest of your stuff. If you had decorations on your cake, you can color them however you want. Maybe I had some frosting around the bottom. Maybe there's some frosting on the top of my cake. Go ahead, sprinkles, whatever, decorate. I want you to color at least part of your background. So if you have a white plate, maybe color your table. Or if you want to color your plate and you want a white table, color your background. If you want to color both, if you have time, awesome, go for it.